Every detail is laid out on plan and on concrete and in the field. That way nothing is missed. So right now at this stage of construction, we're at shear stage, and strap and shear is one of the most important elements of the house. And we found that as a company, we're only as good as our weakest link, right? Just that's the analogy we all understand as far as the team mentality. So our opportunity and experience as a company is only good as our weakest or least knowledgeable link. And so one thing that's super important, because all of us have different experiences with construction and protocol and building processes, and so what's really important is continual trainings with the company. So one thing we'll do is, for example, we just had a strap and shear training. So for those of you that are following us on our other social media channels, you'll see that we were out here with the team. And what's really important is we'll bring all our superintendents, from assistant superintendents and laborers up to our senior project manager, and we're going to be on site doing a training. And what ends up happening is that all of them have different responsibilities to understand how to read plans, understand the shear wall, and everything that goes into strap and shear inspection, so that we pass on the first time. So what happens is you bring them out, we have a training, and it's super important. Although we have good framers, all of them, they're moving fast, they're worried about schedule, they're trying to get these buildings up and going, and there's details that are missed, whether it be nailing patterns, red heads, anchor bolts, different things that go into that building process. And so it's really important that we go and follow them and do that training. So you can see here, we've even noted this. So we walk out with our team, they all have an iPad, it's color coded with per plan. So we use our iPad, and then each of them, through Bluebeam, which is the software we're using, they'll now identify the shear walls and the nailing patterns and the anchor bolts and everything that goes in. So each superintendent has a responsibility, and we go through and QC. And you can see they've already identified, someone's come through and they've marked redhead. You can see that's been installed. We have, this is solid blocking and shear panels as noted. Over on this side, we have other redheads. You can see here HDT5, which is super important. You can see that detail here, which is a structural component. Another one that was put in over here. And then we're identifying the shear wall. As you can see, this is a shear wall that was super important. So then here you'll notice that one of the other important elements is we have a 3/4 inch bore here at the 12-inch embed with a 5/8 inch rod. So that was something that needs to be done. It's important. And over here we have our shear wall. The nailing pattern is 4x4. So these are little details that now, as you're training everyone in the team, what ends up happening is that as all these superintendents now are at frame stage on their projects, they understand exactly what this means on the plans. They understand how to read the plans. They understand how to read the details and the structural elements. And what ends up happening is now we can go and we can check our framers as the product's going in and being installed. When you're thinking of a house, there's going to be different ways how the engineering works. You have live loads, you have dead loads. A dead load is just the weight of the house. So when you're thinking of a second floor, you have the weight of everything, the weight of the tile roof, the weight of the wood framing, the weight of the drywall. These are dead loads. These are things that are always consistent. They're always there throughout the process. A live load are things that can change. People walking, having a party, having 30 people up there, furniture, pool table. Some of these things are safe, maybe, that weigh a lot, and it's a live load. It's things that change and move, whereas your dead load are things that are permanent. Well, in regards to shear, what happens is, as you're building up, any of us that know this from building Legos, if you don't give it shear strength or horizontal strength, if you're pushing on something, it'll tip over, right? Or if wind's blowing. So what ends up happening is we get these microbursts. We have interior weaknesses of the home. So you have interior shear walls, exterior shear walls. And what this does, this gives core strength to the house. This prevents it from wind topping it over and knocking it over, or the house swaying. So what happens is you'll see that we'll have, typically on all the outside, we're full wrapping, full shear the exterior. Part of that structural part of it is to give it more structural integrity. Then on the inside, we'll have these walls like this. Like this would not be a shear wall. You can see it's open frame. But this one, it's more solid. It has our OSB here, and the reason for that is that it gives it that shear protection. And then even more so, the engineers are doing their calculations, they're gonna have nailing patterns. So they're gonna tell us the exact spacing of nails, because that's gonna give it the strength it needs. As you can see here, this is a 4 inch. So every 4 inches, we need to have that nail pattern. and that gives it the structural integrity so that this is the bearing wall running through the center of the home that's going to protect that home from the natural elements and from the living conditions of our client for many years to come.